ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that point where we have a response from the outgoing Commissioner of Prisons. And in the last week, we have had another debate about whether he's going to speak from a script or whether he's going to speak from the Spirit. And we know that he's a Spirit-led, Spirit-filled, Spirit-controlled man. Many times things will go before him and he say, I ain't sure about that. Let me wait until I hear from the Spirit. So now I'd like you to put your hands together. Let's stand and we welcome our guest of honor, outgoing Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Brian Stewart.
You can have your seat. Good night, everyone. I just want to recognize the presence of the Most High God, and say greetings in the name of the Most High God, in the name of Jesus, to thy Holy Spirit. I just want to make that declaration so you can know exactly who I am and what I'm about and why I'm here. And that God gave me an assignment that I was given. I thought about the Spirit, and among the emotions in me, I know that the Spirit is not the timing, because I might say too many things. I remember my sister and them saying that when my mom died in September the 29th, one of the things that she said, there's that a preamble, people. So there's that one thing she said that, Sterling, don't talk. Sterling, don't talk. She gave that message just before she died, because what was happening is that when my mom told me on the radio, on the TV, and she said, you're going in this zone, I go sometime, in the spirit zone. They said she should be in front of the TV saying, oh God, stop, that is enough. Stop, don't say no more, don't say no more. And I want to honor that today. That's why, I walk with this speech, because there's so many things to say right now. So many things to say. And right now, we always talk about emotional intelligence, and it's time to be intelligent with the emotion, and so many emotions, and so many things were said. And, I want to say thank you all, because it was never about me. Life is not truly, I want to say that sincerely real. Life, this journey, this God-given assignment, you see purpose. You see, when you understand purpose, where purpose is not known, abused and everything, when you understand purpose, when you get opportunity, these people come into you to touch and say, like when the Spirit come down to you and put the words into your spirit and say, touch and save lives. Share and care and share. Words like respect, responsibility, and relationship. All right, let me stop there before, because I'm going into this speech and all the other open it, I'm going straight out here. So let me pay respect, protocol. Must observe protocols, the timing, the order. To my beautiful Empress, Lady Dupree Stewart, thank you for all those wonderful years of good loving. Take that. Take that. They want me, I don't want to go freestyle. Yes, that was one. I know I was saying they were singing the tune the other day. They say I'm a madman. I don't, something like that. They say that sometimes. I already feel so. You don't feel like going mad sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's good to go mad. You see, when you're doing creative things and innovative things with what you have, they say, okay. Most of the persons who make this great invention, they say something wasn't right in their head, because they have the ability that you will see it eventually, what they have seen. Now you will see that 10 years down the road, And I like the Spirit that God put in place in my heart, to think outside the cell. Because it's a congregation. We get opportunity. I like how Sam fought. Again, back to the protocol just now. I love how Psalm 49 verse 20 say it. You must get the word coming down as the Spirit goes. A man that is in honor and know not why is like the beasts that perish. I repeat that because I want us here to understand that. You see, when you're being placed in a position, when God raises you up to a certain position, you must know your place. You mustn't get this Nebuchadnezzar, megalomaniac spirit, to feel like you're more important there. You don't know your place. Because when he put you up in that, there, he put you there to be a blessing unto others. It's not about you. Today here, tomorrow you're somewhere else. I know that's supposed to send a message. I went to a funeral yesterday. One of my good friends, Professor Gail Bacchus Taylor. And what is life? It's supposed to send a message. As I said before, one of the things I keep saying, and it came from Miles Monroe, the die empty concept. The cemetery don't need it. All that gifts, all that blessing, all that anointing, all that favor, leave it here. Share it with the world. Share it with those that need it. And what better place to do it? But in corrections, in prisons, where the souls come to you asking for help. I cannot overemphasize the importance of good treatment and being professional. If it's one thing, we must be professional and understand the reason for the season. We are correctional officers. They have police officers, they have correctional officers, they have army officers, they have ministers. That is where you are, and there's where you have to make your mark. I want to say this, Holy Spirit, lead me. We have to stop using our tongue to condemn Trinidad and Tobago and to have the negative against prison and correctional officers and all the services. Because Trinidad is my land, of which I am proud and glad. And I just can't understand why we keep on, and some people keep on talking it bad. Why you don't go somewhere else and you don't like it? Go where you come from. Someone they say they want to go India, Africa. Go back, go there. I want to live here, and that was giving it all of me and the best of me. Why you don't use the tongue to inspire and to motivate and to lift up and to empower and to develop? Why do we continue down this dark road? All right, that's the preamble. Going to the speech now. I see my little sister saying, yes, please. The Honorable Major General, retired Ed Mandela, Minister of National Security. I'm telling them, footman, they play mad. That's what I mean. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Ms. Lydia Jacobs, other permanent secretaries and deputy permanent secretaries. Her worship on my friend, Master L. Caesar, Chief Magistrate and Chief Servant. Brigadier General Rodney Smart, Chief of Defense Staff, and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Smart. My brother and my friend, Mr. Stephen Williams, Commissioner of Police, and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Williams, and other heads of divisions of the protective services. Mr. Rick Mulgrave, Director, U.S. Virgin Islands, Bureau of Corrections, welcome to our country. Thank you for the visit. Thank you for your presence. Mr. Carly Holder, and I don't say about this man, but no former, always El Presidente, because he fit the script of the National Association of Black in Criminal Justice, as well as presidency of the Correctional Management and Communication Groups. The Right Reverend Claude Berkeley, I think that is Mrs. Berkeley with you, sir, and Mrs. Berkeley. I want to recognize Mrs. Berkeley, Bishop of Trinidad and Tobago, other members of the clergy and ministers of the gospel. Prison Medical Officer Dr. Vinu Mohabia and Mrs. Mohabia. Mr. Cecil Duke, Deputy Commissioner of Prisons. Mr. William Alexander, Deputy Commissioner of Prisons. Mr. Gerald Wilson, Deputy Commissioner of Prisons. Mr. Dane Clark, Deputy Commissioner of Prisons. I must call them because they are true servants, committed. They are my colleagues. And other ranks of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. Retired Commissioner, Deputy and Assistant Commissioner, I must recognize my good friend, Mr. John Roger. Thank you for your presence. Mr. John Roger, give him a hand. Pure servant business. That's the kind of person that we have in the prisons, coming out of the prison and committed to the development of Trinidad and Tobago. Family, friends, my brothers and sisters, my in-laws. Hey, stand up, stand you all, nephew. Everyone stand up. Let me see that table. I want to see family. Is that family affair? You know, remember my wife said, boy, he could sing, "It's a family affair." Christopher, take your time. I'm coming for some voice training soon. Well-wishers, clients of the prison service, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good night. I think it's nighttime business. All right, so we're going speech. Because they warned me, if I go freestyle, the length of time, so I want to keep it under this control, under this framework. So we're going speech style. And it's so nice. That's why I'm going to use it. It wasn't a masterpiece, I'm going freestyle because I love the spirit, how it flows. I love when God put it in your heart, just to give it, I say it live and direct. You know, I'm watching and I've seen so many people that take time out on a Saturday to be at this function. You know, there's a real wow moment. I want to say thank you for your presence. I feel extremely special and honored. I never thought so many people would give up their Saturday evening to spend it with me. Let me start by thanking you all for making the decision to share this occasion with me. I have been told by the person who put this event together that we are in for a real good time. I hope you have on your dancing shoes. We're not leaving. They're all inclusive, eh? So I hope you're not leaving. You want to have some time. Don't run off after. There's a concept that says, speak from your soul and every heart will understand. So quite often I give into that temptation to not to use the speeches I prepare. On this occasion, I yield to that passion or desire. I am not one to blow my own trumpet, but I have been complimented time and again for the effort that I made as commissioner. I want to say thank you for all the kind comments. While I appreciate them, they are certainly not the impetus for my efforts. There are two great days in a person's life: the day they were born and the day they discover why they were born. It is called purpose. I found my purpose, which is to touch and save lives to the best of my ability. And it was what drove me throughout the latter part of my service. Not the accolades, not the praises, just the opportunity to serve. So, while I'm happy about the progress the service was able to enjoy under my stewardship, I want to deflect some of the praise to persons or groups of persons whom I believe are deserving of such recognition and mention. I want to borrow a quote from Sir Isaac Newton. He said, "The reason I was able to see so far ahead and accomplish all that I was able to is because I was standing on the shoulders of giants." There are a few individuals who did so much to propel the service in a positive direction and influence meaningful change. And although it is impossible to mention all these individuals this night, I really want to make mention of at least two individuals whom I believe the service owes a debt of gratitude. Their efforts undoubtedly push the service in a positive direction and certainly inspire me to continue in their footsteps. Mr. John Roger, and Mr. Gordon Husband. And all you officers who have committed yourself to quality service and giving yourself away. I want to put this on record. Whatever I was able to accomplish, however little or however significant it has been made out to be, there's no way I could have done it without the support of the senior staff of the prison service and every single officer in whatever positive role they perform on a daily basis. I take this opportunity to say thank you to all my deputies, ACPs, senior soups, superintendent, ASP, supervisors, prison officer 2, prison officer 1, welfare officers. Thank you, prison service drivers. Thank you very much for all the support. And I wish to extend this sentiment to the family of all those I have mentioned as well, mostly for the sacrifices I know you had to make. We must understand, I wrote this one about 2 o'clock this morning, so in pen. We must understand that none of us is as smart as all of us. Leaders, managers, administration ought to know that no one can be the best at everything. But when all of us combine our talents, we can be the best of virtually anything. There is no limit to what can be accomplished if it does not matter who gets the credit. And that was said by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Servants of the prison, again for the record, whatever I was able to accomplish, however little or however significant it has been made out to be, I could not have done it without the support of the servants of the prison, all the volunteers. There's some of them here today. The Kellys and the Sister Kay and the Barker and the Vic and Chance and my good friend over there from Petrochain, former captain. So many of the strike squad. All the volunteers, all the chaplains, all the program leaders and facilitators, all the sponsors and donors, and of course to your families as well. I say thank you. Let me say this one time. Tonight is the night of Thanksgiving. Tonight, my life, my time is Thanksgiving time. First to God and to all those who would have supported the vision, the mission. Thank you. I want to say thank you to those inmates that look out for me. Yes, they did that too. Yes, I want to say that. Those inmates that make their best efforts to encourage other inmates to behave sensibly when they wanted to do otherwise. Those inmates of the mentorship initiative who willingly use their stories as a testimony to convince the youth that crime does not pay, going out there to many schools, thousands of children, because we believe, or I believe, and all of us believe that prevention is better than cure. So if you can put a stop to it before you reach us, then, and we have this initiative going on where our inmates, trained by one Carl Market, goes out there and seek to impact the lives of the young ones. Because they know many of them that come to us, they burn before they learn. Yeah, they were speeding, they crashed, they come for us. And when they realize what life is really worth, they're into the long haul of the justice system. Agents, I call them agents for social change. Those inmates that made the most of the program offered within the prison and sought to make themselves better individuals than they came in as they prepare for their, we call it reintegration, re-entry. I call it going outside there in your neighborhoods, your communities, in Trinidad and Tobago, as law-abiding citizen, as productive citizen, as a person with a sense of value, a value for living. I reiterate, whatever I was able to accomplish, however little or however significant it has been made out to be, I could not have done it without that group of inmates behaving in the ways they did. And on behalf of the entire prison service and all of Trinidad and Tobago, I say thank you very much. That crew down so in the back. You all stand up. I know the first time it happened here, stand up. Yes. Correction is about these people here. Yes. I have so much confidence in the work that we have been doing that I can say, all of you all leave here and go back. I won't call it home. Go back. We will stop right there. Go back and assure that my numbers will be correct and they're going straight back. Faster than I will probably reach home. I might detour somewhere and go where. Tele-evangelist Joyce Meyer has been quoted as saying, "We are not where we want to be, but thank God we are not where we used to be." Despite the progress that we have made as a prison service, I believe we still have miles to go. We didn't come this far to only come this far. To say it like the so-called monarch with a voice, we are far from finished. We are far from. Just in case someone didn't hear or was not listening, let me repeat that. The prison service didn't come this far to only come this far. We are far from finished. There's still a lot to be done. I hold the view that it is possible for every single individual within the care of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service to be productively engaged throughout the duration of their stay. Remanded or convicted, male or female, adult or youth, every single one of our charges. I hold the view still that notwithstanding the fact there is nothing much the prison service could really do about reducing the length of time spent by inmates on remand, awaiting their day in court, I believe that we find a way to soften the impact of such situation, particularly on young children who are growing up, in many cases, without their fathers. Fatherlessness. My dissertation to Cambridge was about that. One of the deepest desires of my heart is that officers recognize their true purpose within the space and will hold as their mission touching and saving lives through corrections. It is difficult for anyone to fathom how dearly and how desperately I have held on to and protected these ideas, particularly in the past couple of years. What is stopping us though? When you try to embark on innovative change, the amount of resistance that you get from the average officer, that is what is retarding the progress we could otherwise make. It's not a lack of ideas or knowledge. Sometimes it is laziness and sheer unwillingness on the part of a few to move away from the retributive style to the restorative style. To do more than say, all correct and quiet still. To go beyond the call. If you understand purpose and the opportunity that you get, taking into consideration your motto is to hold and treat. then we understand exactly why you must be the light in the midst of the darkness, and be the light in what you're doing. So you give yourself selflessly away, knowing and walking in that faith. Because faith is, from my perspective, or the perspective I have learned or I have read, seeing light when your eyes can only see darkness. So everybody seeing negative. You know, sometimes when you're looking for oil, how far you have to dig, how you have to go deep through the rocks and the soil and all these obstacles and opposition until you reach the source of it. The sure witness on the part of few which paralyze us in our tracks, and in mild cases strip the momentum from our efforts, and in severe cases actually turn advance into retreat. I'm not saying that to blame anyone though. My understanding is that the mind gets about 50,000 thoughts every day, and 98% of them are the same thought we had the day before. This means that generally as individuals, we have 2% readiness for change. Anything beyond that 2% is difficult to accept. So we find all kinds of excuses why the change doesn't make sense or why it wouldn't work. We rationalize, feed ourselves rationalized lies that seem reasonable. We refuse to open our minds, almost as if we believe if we open our minds, our brains will fall out. Trust me, I tried it. You're safe. Your brain will fall out. Yeah, that kind of head you have there, cabeza, your head good. That's why you make it so hard. It will fall out. Your brain is not going to fall out of your head if you open your minds. Aristotle said this way: it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. It has been said that the greatest sin is a closed mind. Moreover, openness is one of the big 5 personality traits. I won't go into that in the essence of time. You can get the speech, I'll copy the speech after. Tough times call for extraordinary resilience, self-development, and responsible action. Speaking of times like these are really challenging times. And in these tough times, we find ourselves praying and asking God for things to get better. How about if we consider that things could only get better if we get better? The problems we face may very well be the stepping stones to the improvement that we need to make as people and as a service. Maybe difficult times are not so bad. One author said, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. The writer James Allen, let a person rejoice when he is confronted with obstacles, for it means that the individual has reached the end of some particular line of indifference or folly and is now called upon to summon up all his energy and intelligence in order to extricate himself and to find a better way. That powers within him are crying out for greater exercise and scope. This is the case of serious personal development. I saw this on a poster once. Problems are purposeful roadblocks, offering beneficial lessons to enhance mental strength. Maybe, just maybe, we should not be praying for fewer problems. Maybe we should be praying for more skills. Maybe we should be wishing things were easier. Maybe we should be working to make ourselves better. Just maybe. But in all of this, we must be sure that we are not the ones making things bad for ourselves, or that we do not behave in ways to make things worse. Sometimes we make things worse by failing to recognize that we are on the same team. The prison service is one team, and we must recognize this. When I took over as commissioner, I tried to have as my mantra, care and share. Using phrases such as people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Using such words as respect, responsibility, and relationship. Encourage us to take our vision and mission seriously, and not just to talk the talk, but to walk the talk, and to let our video match our audio. And let our video match our audio. What a different prison service we will have if we all began to operate like members of the same team on a mission to touch and save lives. What a different prison service we will have if we all made a solid effort to acquire the mission-critical skills and an unrelenting desire to make a positive difference in the lives of our charges, in the lives that those who come to us for help. The motto say, hold and treat. If you're not sick, you don't need treatment, right? So we have people coming that need treatment, need healing, need deliverance, need guidance and protection. And we have chosen that on our own volition. That is who we are. We have decided that this is what we have in spite of. We have made that decision and choices to come and be part of this, and Trinidad and Tobago need us, all our correctional officers. What a different prison service we will have if we all made a solid effort to acquire the... All right, we said that already. By definition, a team is a group of people coming together to achieve a common purpose with a common philosophy and a common set of values and methods. One guy says, for a team to be effective, members must realize that truly everyone's actions matter. Another guy says we must buy into the fact that together everyone achieves more. Because my God is a God of simplicity, I want to bring it as simple as this. Teamwork makes the dream work. Some say no pain, no gain, but I say no team, no dream. If we do not begin to work as one team with one dream in the interest of touching and saving lives, it is almost as if we are on a proverbial treadmill, looking as if we are doing a lot, but we are going nowhere. All right, just now finishing. Everyone all right? You know you must know about the family. Everyone all right? One of the challenges we face as individuals is the difficulty to plan with a long-range time perspective, impatience. We want what we want now, instant gratification. So in a lot of cases, when we do not see a way to achieve what we want in the immediate future, we give up on them. Patience, knowing it will happen and giving it time to happen. Doing the things that increases the likelihood of the outcomes we are after or we desire. Motivational speaker Les Brown say it this way: the things we want are almost always possible, though the road to them may not be as clear as we want them to be. We have to hold on to our dreams and vision for a brighter tomorrow within the service, within Trinidad and Tobago, long enough to gather all the ideas and inspiration needed to make them a reality. We have to become skilled at recognizing and celebrating incremental progress and tiny victories. Even if it appears as if we are failing, we must know that we are failing forward, ever. Backwards, never. That direction. When I took over the mantle as commissioner, I knew there were several areas I needed to work on. More importantly, I knew I had an extremely perishable time frame. And all I knew that it would have been impossible to achieve some of the things I wanted to for a number of reasons. Resistance, red tape within the system, unpredictability on the part of the inmates, the GSC, etc. Believing that we must keep persons 10 years, why they're going to the bank, why things have to be expired. if they were here so long, the bank all these things want to expire, but that's the next talk. Not for the day. I have the minister here, I told him already about that already. Yeah, so we ain't going into that. You know, I also told the minister in a meeting, I think Brigadier General Smart was there and the Commissioner of Police, that the next time they call me before the JSC, I'm going to trip off on them and tell them what they need to know. I tell you that. So I'm saying that, and I'm honest. You know, it's good to be honest. I know we still have a problem with honesty and being candid and candor. And so, if we have a problem with that still, right? Yeah, they'd ask you to retire and resign and apologize and beat you like my good friend. Imagine they're talking about God and they want to beat my brother. All right. Leave that alone. Before I go freestyle now and I take care again next hour. Because anytime you see I start to talk that talk, you know that spirit is go mad. Yeah, we have to stop supporting the silence of the lambs. That's the word that came to me. We have too many persons silent and not standing up for the right thing. Somebody talk about taking responsibility. Somebody, I said people, I don't want to go into talk about hypocrite and mocking pretend and pride. Jump out of the woodwork and start to chastise. Somebody talk about God. And too many silent of the lambs. God places in a position that stand up and defend your brothers and sisters when they're doing and talking the right thing. And let your voice be heard. Put them back in the, you know what my wife was saying, you have to put them back in the body. When they crawl out with the foolishness, with the folly, because they have to teach them how to conquer foolishness. We have too much foolishness in the land. You know, I keep saying the heart of the problem is the problem of the heart. Sin. So we have to support the brothers when they're talking it right. It can be voiceless. A man talking about God and they're coming after my brother, the commissioner. You have to come out and say, hey, go with the devilish. All right. Go back in your hole where you come from, where you crawl out from. But we are allowing the folly and the darkness and the foolishness and the reporters, and some of the reporters allowing it too. Watch me here, you camera, watch me in my face. I'm saying that you too. I see recently, for the first time, I give approval for the youth from the Youth Training Center to participate in the marathon, the Toronto Tobago Marathon. For the first time, young guys. They came first in the relay part and fourth overall in the country. The president, the honorable president of Trinidad, I never say that, the honorable, I want you all to say that. Trinidad, I like when you don't like me. The honorable president of Trinidad and Tobago was so inspired and motivated that he took time out to come and visit YTC. You know, for over 2 hours with the lads and with us. Fellowship. You know, you ain't seen anything on the news and the papers about that. But out of time in here, let me use the word out of time. A reporter calling me and asking me about some mischief business. I said, so all you do report anything good about the prison and the positive and how we saving life and touching life and the miracles we performing on a daily basis. They say, she tell me, they don't know about that. I say, yes, all you know about that thing good. You only know about all the wrong, but you come in by your doorstep. The whirlwind that we repent, the whirlwind that we created with the nonsense, because this monster didn't come overnight just so, We created that by standing back and allowing it. All right, speech time, good. Thank you, Shade. I see your eyes. I set my sights on a few key goals and was motivated on a daily basis by my mantra, Galatians 6:9. You know that the mantra, as Mr. Wilson said, do not be weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. So I said about the mission trying to bring about improvement in areas which I believe could transform the service. I'll just name I name a few. Yeah, I will name a few. Advancing the human resource development aspect by providing ongoing training for officers in key areas. For example, the discipline section. Restructuring of the program section for more effectiveness, key to our purpose of preparation for reintegration. I want to give people like Mr. Caraspi and Mr. Wilson and Mr. Alexander and Mr. Charmin Johnson and all my program staff thank you. Because that's the direction. If we're talking about transformation, we're talking about change, we're talking about reform, we have to be talking program, renewing the mind. As Proverbs 23 verse 7 says, so a man thinketh in his heart, so we must get into the head business. The warfare is up here. Mental warfare. Emancipate. All right, stop singing, sir. Formalizing the YTT mentorship team. We call them change agents. And expanding to include greater female participation and involvement of our children in the adult male establishment. And making a solid effort, a significant effort to improve the state of affairs for inmates on remand. As we know, 64% of our inmate population are remandees. We must work with them for too long, over time. In terms of the focus on the remand, I know that I will receive a lot of criticism for thinking outside the cell and trying to do innovative, creative things with them. But I think at least an effort should be made to move with some form of relief to the pressure placed on them by an extra slow judicial process. The ones that deserve it, I am standing in their corner. Now I believe, and know this, that if a person does the crime, they ought to do the time. No doubt about it. Moreover, I know there are a lot of them who believe that they are real monsters. Yeah, threatening, tell themselves they're real bad. But in a lot of cases, there are persons on remand for longer periods than they would have been had, they've been convicted and sentenced. And one of the main pressures of this is the impact that it has on their life after prison. They could lose their wives, husbands. They could not have any involvement in their children's lives. They could lose their jobs. If they were going to school or studying, in a few cases they could lose their enrollment. Worse than that, in a lot of cases, they are hardly engaged productively during the period of remand. We try our best to improvise. It's just not the proper infrastructure, but isn't that enough to warrant that we make our best efforts to alleviate their plight as much as we could? I have more to say there, but I'll leave it there now. In the interest of time, let me close it down. I want to say this because there's future coming. At the moment, we are about to launch an initiative in collaboration with the John Ark Foundation, Wishing for Wings, and the Prison Service. We are about to, that will be on the 16th Thursday at Policeman Prison. The president will be there. We are about to launch an initiative with some of our charges at Policeman Prison, where we will be providing deserving individuals with an opportunity to engage in constructive activities with their children. We're opening a library and a reading room. In a place that was darkness, which we used to call it G-condemn, and people used to be sentenced there. We try and make the necessary rehabilitation, retrofitting, change, and next week Thursday, we'll be using it to prepare, destroy, break the generation curse and the next generation. You know what we call it, save the children. We have to go beyond the persons in prison. So we are allowing deserving, both convicted and convicted, individuals for their children to come in and for the fathers to be reading to them. And they'll be getting the books. Because as you know, those who we fail to educate, we will continue to incarcerate. This modern penological practices, sure things can go wrong. Sure the media will be waiting to pounce when they do. But we are fearless and unafraid. Everything we do is keeping with our philosophical underpinning, our reintegration penal policy. Einstein said it this way, and I'm mindful. No amount of experimentation could prove me right, but one single experiment could prove me wrong. ask the Joint Select Committee. But we are dealing with wicked problems with no right or wrong answers, and a lot of people who would faint if they spend one day in my shoe want to tell me what they think I should do or should not do. I prefer not to spend my time discussing that. Yeah. I ain't going through that. I had too much time. We are far from finished. So as I close, you know, they always speaking about legacy, what you're leaving for legacy and all this business. I stop reading now. I take a net. I don't want that culture, brother. I don't know where you bring that culture from. I have this. As I close, and I would like to talk about legacy. My legacy I want to leave within the prison service, as a servant, as a person that was never on tigers, is a legacy of godliness, as I said before, of goodness, of giving yourself away for the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, of dying empty, of doing all that in your power. Company reach at this stage, you don't really need much now. When you reach this stage, you see like the Minister of National Security, Major Brigadier General Edmund Dillon, he won't relax in and realize that here this, I want to contribute more to the people, to my country that I love. Take all the abuse, all the condemnation, and overcome all of that just to give themselves away. See, person like Brigadier General Smart and Commissioner of Police and ACs and all you, Deputy Commissioner Duke and Mr. William, all these, Mr. Carly Holder, they give their life to you. They give a life to serving people. You cannot be ungrateful and be happy. We have a problem with gratitude in Trinidad and Tobago, or giving thanks. I'll flip the chart and say it the other way. You cannot be grateful and be unhappy. So you want to live a life of gratitude, a life of thanksgiving. Use your tongue to praise and motivate and inspire and to guide and protect and deliver and empower. Use all the existence, all the gifts to do good. What are you going to do when I retire? What I always want to do. You can retire from doing good. Trinidad and Tobago, my people here, family, friends, can you retire from doing good? All right, so I never retiring because I had that desire. Because I know good. I love good. I love to see people happy. That's why I see we're going to lock those gates because you're not leaving. We're going to lock up that cell because we have good music to dance to all night. And you can't go home now because after you eat at this hour, you can't go and lie down. Don't sleep and lie down. You hear that one? So you have to work it out. Take it as an exercise. Take it like in a gym. So we know good and we're loving good and we're doing good. So my extraordinary people that are here today, that are here to honor me, we need each and every one of us, all of us together. Because as the motto say, together we aspire, together we achieve. Just job blessings. Hallelujah. Amen.
This time coming to pay tribute in an instrumental item. One of the remanded inmates out of the maximum security prison. Let's put our hands together and welcome saxophonist Curtis Lewis. So if we didn't have a commissioner that was thinking outside of the cell, as he says, and opening up the remand prison for inmates like Curtis Lewis to come out here, that would have been one of the hidden stories in our nation. Let's put our hands together for him once more. At this time, coming to do the vote of thanks as we wind things down a little bit, let's welcome the Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Mr. Dane Clark, who's going to do the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. In the interest of time, I will say all protocols observed. Good evening once again. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of myself, my wife, my family, and members of staff to congratulate Mr. Sterling Brian Stewart on his impending retirement from the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. We extend best wishes to you for an enjoyable and pleasurable retirement. May your days as a retiree be much more than your days of service to our nation. James Allen once said, "No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks." However, in keeping with the kind of person that Mr. Stewart is, I would like to remind us that the Bible encourages us in Psalm 92 and verse 1 that it's a good thing to give thanks. With these sentiments in mind, I humbly accept the honor of being tasked with the responsibility of saying thank you to all of those who worked tirelessly or contributed in one way or another to making this evening's event possible and successful. Firstly, to the Almighty God, without whose bounties we would not be here and would have nothing, we give thanks to you, Lord. We thank you, Mr. Stewart, for 39 years of outstanding and dedicated service to the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service and our beloved nation. As you prepare to exist the walls of this noble profession, we want you to know that we appreciate all that you would have done to make this place a better one while touching and saving lives. Special thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, who have graciously opened the doors of this facility and have worked closely with us to successfully host this event. Sincerest gratitude is extended to the Ministry of National Security and the Honorable Major General Edmund Dillon, Minister of National Security, for your stellar leadership and your memorable remarks during this function. Continuing in the spirit of gratitude, we would like to thank the executive and staff of Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, inclusive of the Events Management Unit, the Emergency Response Unit, the Planning, Transport and Logistics Department, the Public Relations and Communications Unit, the Prison Service Band, and all other prison personnel who contributed in one way or another. We also want to make special mention of Ms. Guevara, the Secretary to the Commissioner, who would have worked tirelessly to put this together and who I know for a fact works with him many long hours at the end of each day. Sometimes I leave them in office working hard, and trust me, she takes pleasure in giving him the work to do. We would also like to make special mention of and give our heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee for this event for your outstanding work. We'd also like to thank those who took the time to give tributes to our guest of honor, Mr. Sterling Stewart, namely Mr. Gerard Wilson, Mr. Carl Ihola, Mrs. Lydia Stewart, and the numerous others who were part of the various videos which were shown this evening. To those of you who were part of the program this evening, our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Krishna Bedesi, Minister of the Gospel, Mr. Christopher Herbert, for invocation, Mr. Wendell Bompard for your music ministry, Brother Dean Joseph of Miracle Ministries International for your awesome rendition of the Commissioner's theme song, Mr. Curtis Lewis for your scintillating rendition on the saxophone of How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees, which is one of my favorite songs and was my wedding song to be exact. Mr. Carlos Carraspi, who is still to come with the benediction and the blessing of the meal, we thank you all for adding a measure of distinction to our program. To the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Band, who will be showcasing their musical talents and flying the prison service flag high, we want to say a most profound thanks to you all for entertaining us. To all of you who have taken time out of your busy schedule to join us in this celebration, we salute you. In the words of G.K. Chesterton, I will maintain that thanks are the highest form of thought, and that gratitude is happiness, doubled by wonder. Allow me just a few minutes of your time to express my gratitude to Mr. Stewart, who has given me an opportunity to work with him, to whom I had to listen for many hours in his office, and whom I stress, sometimes listen to me. Working with Mr. Stewart was different. So I just want to say thank you to all. Mr. Stewart, as you go forward, yes, in the words of Leonard Nimoy, better known as Spock, live long and prosper. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.